I started out about 20 years old. I really wanted to be a TIG welder. But when I finally got a job at a shop, I had to start from the absolute bottom. And when I say from the bottom, I mean from the bottom. I was scrubbing toilets, I was sweeping floors, preparing parts for other people to weld them, even though because I was so excited, I was practicing for hours and hours on my own time. It took a while, but I finally got the nod, and I was finally allowed to start TIG welding some stuff in the shop. However, here's the part where things didn't quite go the way I thought they would. I thought that when I was able to start TIG welding, I was going to be allowed to do all of the cool stuff that everybody else was doing. But I found out, unfortunately, I was doing all the welding jobs nobody else wanted to do. Because I hadn't fully developed a lot of unconventional TIG welding skills, kind of the type of stuff you don't actually learn in school. So today, I'm going to show you a few things that I wish I had in my skill set that would have fast-tracked me to being able to get into TIG welding some more serious jobs much quicker. So one of the first things that I wish I knew before I started getting thrown into TIG welding was properly wrapping corners. So when people are learning how to TIG weld, a lot of people practice running straight TIG welds just like this. Point A to point B. Pretty simple, right? But I recommend, if you can, cut one of your welding coupons a little bit short and practice a weld like this. You then get a chance to practice wrapping away from a start, doing the straight shot like we talked about, and finishing with a nice little corner wrap like this. And then if you want, you can TIG weld the other side. This is a small detail that if somebody had this, it would have impressed a lot of people. I was the welding supervisor at my shop. If somebody already knew how to do some of this stuff I'm talking about, I would have been totally impressed. Get this tip down. You're definitely going to impress your supervisor at the shop. All right, the next one up is super common. I'm kind of surprised how many people don't know how to do this. And that is how to properly weld and fill a hole and then finish it off with a grinder. So for everybody out there, if you work at a shop that gets parts cut for you out of house, you're probably familiar with this type of story. We used to get parts cut and sent to us all the time.
Hey, we have parts. Yay, our parts are here. Yay, we have parts now.
We had a ton of different versions of cut files that we send off to the water cutters. And pretty commonly, things get mixed up. Stuff will get sent back to us, and sometimes there would be these extra holes cut into the pieces. They were basically for using the same part for a different job. So in that case, obviously we didn't need the holes. So not a huge problem, but this would have been a very valuable skill to have when I first started learning. Being able to properly TIG weld a hole, make sure that you penetrate it properly down into the material so that you can grind it off later without any surface cracks appearing. This is a really, really valuable skill. If you don't know how to do this, I recommend start practicing filling a hole. You're gonna start out by welding just on the edge of it, and you're only gonna do half of the hole. If you have the ability on your machine, turning the frequency up on your machine will help with this. This is gonna tighten up your arc cone. It'll focus it more on the edge for you. You can see me dialing this in with my CanaWeld machine here. All right, after you finish the first pass on the first half, spin the piece around or reposition yourself and do the second half. All you're doing is you're just gonna lay a pass down, just butter up the edge so you can close the gap a little bit. Then you're gonna spin it around again, repeat on the other side, flip as many times as you need to, and finish up with a final dab like this. All right, when you flip the plate over now or work on the other side, you can actually hit it with a little more heat comfortably, because at this point we're not really worried about burning through. We want to fully connect with the filler material that we put on the other side. This is how we ensure that we have complete penetration. If you wanna learn how to properly grind this and essentially make it look invisible, there's an episode in the description below that'll teach you how to do that. But you can see how important this skill is. You could literally make a mistake like this disappear, especially if this part was getting painted after manufacturing. This little boo-boo never even happened. Practice that one up. That one's a lot of fun. Now, this next one is a little trickier, but if you really want to impress your supervisor, put some good time down on this one and practice this tip. And this tip is to learn the TIG welding basics ambidextrously. For those of you that don't know, that means using either hand. Now, this is something that I had to do simply because a lot of the stuff I was set up to work on was geared towards people who were right-handed. If you watch your show by now, you've probably noticed I am left-handed. Now, when you are welding, there are gonna be a ton of times where you're gonna find yourself in an awkward position where you can actually get yourself out of hot water by switching hands. It's completely common that everything's gonna feel awkward at first. But if you can learn some of the basic stuff, comfortably manipulating your torch, comfortably feeding your filler material, as well as getting your body posture correct, there's gonna be a ton of times where switching hands can get you out of trouble really quickly. We talked about wrapping up corners properly earlier. There's gonna be times when you need to do little jobs like that where you cannot properly reach. So switching hands, sometimes it's just gonna make it a lot easier. Like I said, when I was a welding supervisor, I would train people all the time who would do just fine until they had some kind of curveball like this thrown at them. It's always a little awkward to switch hands, but if you're somewhat familiar with it, you can do some basic stuff with it. Switching hands to get something done isn't the biggest deal in the world. When I was really excited to get my first TIG welding job, the only thing I was ever really told was just to practice more. While I did go out and practice a ton, I was usually practicing the wrong thing. There are a ton of little tricks that I have mentioned here in this episode that are gonna help you get your skills a little more well-rounded. I definitely recommend going over the things that I mentioned here in this episode, and there are links in the description below to go a little further with some of these tips. Go watch those episodes next. Do a random act of kindness for a stranger today. My name is Dusty. Phil and Chill. We'll talk soon. Peace.